You invested in gold thinking you have secured your family for the rainy day, but that is far from the truth. Case in point, the Gold Seizure of 1930. In 1933, the United States was running on an operating system called the gold standard, and the code was simple. For every paper dollar in existence, there had to be a specific amount of gold in the vault to back it. But this code had a bug. When people got scared, which they were because of the Great Depression, they hoarded gold. They pulled it out of the banks and hid it under their mattress. Because the gold left the system, the Federal Reserve was legally forced to shrink the amount of paper money in the market. And they did this to maintain a stable ratio. This was a deflationary death spiral for the economy. And more the people panicked, the less money existed, and the worse the economy got. President Roosevelt didn't have a moral problem. He had a math problem, and he needed to print money to stop the deflation. But the gold hoards were stopping him. Roosevelt's solution wasn't to ask nicely, it was to change the incentives. On April 5th, 1933, he issued an executive order. It didn't technically seize gold, it just made it illegal to own it. The government offered to buy your gold at the standard price of $20.67 per ounce. And if you refuse, you face a $10,000 fine, that is $200,000 in today's money, or 10 years in prison. Notice the persuasion technique. The government didn't say, give us your wealth. They said, hey, we are conducting a transaction, and the alternative to this is a cage. We human beings are simple machines. We tend to take the deal that doesn't involve prison. By May 1933, the government had collected the gold. They controlled the supply. Then the real magic trick happened. Congress passed the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, and Roosevelt immediately revalued gold from $20.67 to $35 an ounce. Think about that for a second. The government forced you to sell your asset at a low price. And the moment they owned it, they declared it was worth nearly 70% more. This wasn't an accident, it was a wealth transfer. By devaluing the dollar against gold, the government instantly created new money on their balance sheet. This stimulated the economy, but the stimulus came directly from evaporated wealth of the people who followed the law. The ban on owning gold lasted for 4 decades until 1974. For 40 years, the land of the free prohibited its citizens from owning the one asset that historically protects them from government mistakes. The takeaway here isn't that gold is good or bad. The takeaway is that ownership is an illusion, and we maintain it until there is an emergency. If the system needs your assets to survive, the rules will change to make your assets available. Follow for more such insights.